Close Astros pitcher Justin Verlander speaks in a noisy, celebratory clubhouse after winning the 2017 World Series on Wednesday, November 1, 2017, in Los Angeles. Video by Anthony Fennick DFP. Justin Verlander finally won a World Series. What you think about that says a lot about you as a fan. Just as our reaction to his victory on the whole says plenty about us as a region. It's hard to fathom a similar scenario unfolding in a place like New York. Not to mention places like Boston or Philly or Baltimore, or even Los Angeles, the most bandwagon of sports towns, where rooting for a former player on another team would seem uncouth and provincial. In New York, if you leave, you leave. Imagine Yankees fans shedding a tear if Derek Jeter won a title in, say, Kansas City, after spending a decade in New York coming up just short. Or try to think about Red Sox fans reacting the same way you did last night when the Astros beat the Dodgers in Game 7, sending gooey, positive vibes to Big Papi, after he'd finally gotten a ring in San Diego after years of close calls in Boston. You can't think about it, or imagine it, because it wouldn't happen. At least not to the degree it did here the last month as Verlander chased his ring from Houston, and took a portion of Detroit with him. To which I say good for you. This may be a tough town, but it ain't a soulless one. You can be a great sports town without being ruthless. Now, before you say it, no one is arguing Verlander's championship should feel like yours. No one is suggesting the Astros winning the title should feel as if the Tigers just won it. Justin Verlander wins World Series with Detroit still close to his heart, the DIDNT. And are a long way from winning one. Which, of course, is why so many Tigers fans celebrated with Verlander last night. It's not just that he pitched so well for so long here, it's that championship prospects around these parts are bleak. In every sport. A quick reminder as if you need one: the Red Wings. Please. Besides, you have a closet stuffed with Stanley Cups and a generation of winning already in the can. It ain't happening. Teams can't stay relevant forever. Except for the Spurs, because their coach is the curmudgeon we need. And except for the Patriots, because they're coaching to deal with the devil. The Pistons. About the best we can say is that they're closer to winning than the Wings. And that they're playing in a new arena. Also, the franchise has been known to get good in a hurry. When none of us expect it. Which is wishful thinking. So why are you bringing it up? Which leaves the Lions. Frankly, it's an insult. I used a question mark there. We all know the deal. It's not in the cards. At least not before the ice caps melt and Detroit becomes the country's tropical playground. Until then, or at least until the Fords sell the Lions, the sports landscape will remain barren. Bereft of possibility. Fatalistic. How one Christmas gift made me a Justin Verlander fan for life ain't to that void stepped Verlander. Dressed with a hint of that familiar orange. Sporting a beard. Bulldogging his way through lineups. Barking like a coach at his teammates from the dugout in Game 2 of the World Series, as the game seemed to be slipping away. Remember how good you are, he bellowed. And, oh, how you wished he was wearing an old English D above the brim of his cap. Leading the Tigers back from the precipice, and not the Astros. It was inspiring, and you felt pride, and maybe a little envy. Okay, maybe a lot of envy. As in, why couldn't he do that back in 2012, when the Tigers were struggling to gain traction against the San Francisco Giants? Maybe he did, and we just didn't see it. Or maybe he didn't, because everything that had come before that moment in Game 2, everything that had happened in his career, which is to say everything that he learned in Detroit, prepared him for that fiery speech. And helped him grab hold of his young Houston teammates and impart everything he'd absorbed as a Tiger. Through winning, through losing, through competing with the season at stake. Read Justin Verlander's top moments with the Detroit Tigers. No, I know. Some of you don't care. Verlander's gone, and you've adopted a more cynical view of his Texasized rebirth this fall. Not that you don't appreciate, or at least respect, what he did to help push Houston over the top. It's all a little much. You refuse to attach yourself to his postage's quest. You copped a stance more at home in Philly and New York. You thought, yeah, he was a good pitcher here, even a great one, but he couldn't get it done, and he's no longer one of us. Besides, all this treacly sentiment is making me ill. That's understandable, and essential to the calculus of fandom. It's just not very Detroit. Not when it comes to sports. Because we're more loyal than we'd like to admit. Especially to the athletes we've embraced, and who've embraced us back. Turns out our inner sports fan is as soft as cotton candy. Verlander's ride was just more proof. And that's not a bad thing at all. Trending on Freep.com, why am quitting the Dodgers, and Detroit fans should quit the Lions. Dodgers lose Andrew Romini to Mariners, make more moves. Contact Sean Windsor, $3,132,226,487. Windsor at freepress.com. Follow him on Twitter at Sean Windsor. Download our Tigers Extra app for free on Apple and Android devices.